Hi, welcome to this video about MESSOR by Cosmotronic. MESSOR already existed in the Eurorack space, but has now been reinvented as a pedal for studio use. MESSOR is a stereo compressor pedal with a sidechain input in the back. By adjusting the parameters to what you want, you can control the dynamic range of whatever you send into a compressor. You can use a compressor to compress the dynamic range of a signal, but not only that. You can use it to make loud signals more silent, and you can use it to make silent signals louder. If you set it up just right, you can choose to only make the attack transient of your sound louder, thus enhancing the character of your instruments. You can also choose to really clamp down all the peaks in your signal to, for example, protect any gear that's further down the line from loud peaks. MESSOR has full jack stereo inputs and full jack stereo outputs. You can also choose to use the pedal in mono. There's a mini jack input on the back that lets you connect a sidechain signal to the compressor. You can use this, for example, for sidechain compression, the characteristic pumping sound that we associate with a lot of dance music. In this video, I want to run a variety of sounds through MESSOR to demonstrate its capabilities. But first, I want to show you what all the knobs and the buttons and the switches on the front panel do. Thank you, by the way, to Cosmotronic for sponsoring this video. Let's have a closer look at the features of the Cosmotronic MESSOR compressor pedal. I'm running a mono line signal into its mono input, and I'm running a mono output to my interface. Let's press start here on the bass bot. The pedal is already engaged if I turn it off by pressing this foot switch here. The signal just goes through uninterrupted. Let's engage it, and you can see that the LEDs on MESSOR start lighting up. I think when making sense of a compressor, the threshold is a good place to start. What a compressor does is it looks at the level, the amplitude of a signal that's coming in. Everything that exceeds a certain threshold, which is set with the recording knob here, everything that exceeds the level that's set here will be attenuated, resulting in a compressed signal overall. The amount of attenuation is set by the ratio knob. When you set this to off, or a ratio of 1:1, there is no attenuation at all. You can see here printed on the panel here, we have a ratio of 4:1, 8:1, and then there's a limiting setting which is a ratio of infinity to 1, and this means that the signal will not exceed the threshold. So everything above the threshold, everything above the level that we set here, will be attenuated completely. And this is in fact what we call limiting. The amplitude of the signal that we send in cannot exceed the threshold at all. Let's play around with these two settings here. Let's lower the threshold. If I turn it completely counterclockwise, you can see by the LED action here that we get compression almost at every note. When we turn it up gradually, you'll start seeing that the LEDs only light up when the notes coming in are louder. This means that those notes exceed the level set by the threshold, and those notes will get compressed, or in this case limited. On MESSOR there's a unique feature that I haven't seen anywhere else on any compressor apart from the Eurorack version of this pedal, and that is negative compression ratios. So instead of starting at 1/1 and ending on infinity over 1, this pedal goes further. And what this means is that when we start turning this knob here towards the settings on the right, whenever a signal exceeds the threshold, it will get attenuated downwards. The level will drop. Now, in a setup like this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but when we start sidechain compressing stuff, you will get a much more pronounced bumping effect if you turn the ratios to the right here. Now let's keep this at a moderate setting of 4:1. Let's bring down the threshold. You can see that the LED activity here also depends on the ratio setting. Right now there's not a lot of compression going on, even though the threshold is set to its lowest setting here. But with a ratio of 4:1, there's not a lot of compression going on whenever the signal surpasses the threshold. So there's also not a lot of LED activity. There's an interesting mix knob here that lets you blend in the original unprocessed signal. This is a quick and easy way to perform parallel compression, which is especially interesting when you start compressing drums. But let's turn it completely to the right, which means that we're listening only to the compressed version of the signal. Below these three nice knobs here, you can see an attack and release setting. The attack goes from 3 milliseconds, which is very fast, to 120 milliseconds. The release goes from 10 milliseconds to a staggering 2 seconds. The attack setting here sets the amount of time it takes for the compressor to kick in. The release setting sets the amount of time it takes for the level of the signal to go back to normal or uncompressed. A lot of the fine-tuning of a compressor happens here. It really depends if you want to enhance the transients or maybe if you want to smooth them out, what the settings here will be. Even in this example, I can show you what these controls do. If I turn up the attack completely, you can see from the LED activity that even on the louder notes, the compressor doesn't completely kick in. And when I turn this towards the faster timings, so the shorter time, you can see that the compressor actually kicks in completely. This greatly shapes the dynamic movement of your sound, and it's important to set these to the right timings for your source material. We can do a similar thing with the release. If I turn this completely to the right, you can see that the compressor keeps compressing and the signal never really returns to normal levels. But we can choose to turn this towards faster timings here, which means that as soon as the louder signal has passed, the compressor stops compressing and everything returns back to normal. Below the attack and release knobs here, we have a knob and a switch for the side chain. The way a VCA compressor like MESSOR works is it splits up the signal coming in, and one of the versions, one of the clones, so to speak, is called the sidechain. This sidechain signal goes through a high-pass or a low-pass filter. On MESSOR we have both options, and the signal after the filter, that's the one that's being used to analyze the level of. So only when the cloned filtered version of our original signal exceeds the threshold, only then will the other copy, the original one, be compressed. The filter gives us the option to only select a certain frequency band of the original signal to be used for the analysis inside MESSOR, which controls the compression. That being said, there's two more controls that we need to have a closer look at here, and that's the input gain to the right here and the makeup gain to the left. Now you can imagine if you start compressing a signal a lot, the levels go down, and at some point it will just be too silent. And that's where the makeup gain comes into play. We can amplify our signal post-compression. Usually this is just to bring it up to normal levels again. There's quite some amplification on tap here. You can read from the front panel here that there's plus 80 dB of amplification there. At this setting we're at 0 amplification, and when we turn it more towards the left we are attenuating the signal. The input gain is a pre-compression amplifier. It goes up to 18 dB as well. And let me give this knob here a sweep so you can get an idea of the total amplification range. of the input gain on MESSOR. Keep in mind this is a line level signal going in. I have my bass pot here set to about 3/4 of the volume. So this is at 0 amplification on the input stage. You probably also noticed that the compressor started compressing more when I turned this knob to the right. I think it makes sense that if you drive the signal harder into your compressor, that more of your signal will exceed the threshold that you set it. The threshold does not change together with the input gain. This is a fixed value. So if you start driving the signal into it more by turning up the gain, you can achieve more compression. That's it for the controls here. One more thing that I want to mention: if you send in a mono signal, you only get a mono signal out. There's nothing coming out of the stereo output or the second output. Let's now run a variety of signals through the pedal to see how the pedal behaves with different sound sources, and also to see how we can use the controls to our advantage. I'm going to send in some guitar, some drums as well. I'll do some spoken word, etc. For this part of the video, I programmed some drum loops using sample drums from vinyl, but also classic drum machines to demonstrate how MESSOR behaves with those. I'll just play the loops from my laptop here. These are line level signals coming straight from the headphone output, by the way. These are stereo. I'll make sure to play you the dry version, which is not affected by MESSOR. And then I'll just start tweaking a few of the parameters so you can hear how MESSOR squashes the audio from those loops. Let's turn off MESSOR. I'll try to do some level compensation in post-production so you can hear the loops in a more honest way next to the compressed versions, which probably will sound a little bit louder and punchier. But I'll make sure the levels are the same-ish. This is the unprocessed version. You can see MESSOR is turned off. Let's start compressing this loop. Let's bring down the attack to really squash the transients. Let's limit this. Let's go for a more subtle compression here. And if we want to make sure that the compressor doesn't hit too hard when the kick drum hits, we can use the sidechain filter here. And now we're just compressing the loud when the loud hits, the loud snares happen. We can really squash this as well. Let's limit. Let's really go for it. And bring in a little bit of the original sound with the mix control. Let's go to the next loop. This is a TR909 loop. Currently not processed by MESSOR. Let's turn on the pedal here. And let's start compressing this drum loop. First I'll turn the sidechain filter down. This means that all the sound is being analyzed. There's nothing excluded because we're on the high pass setting. We can make sure that the compressor really only reacts when the kick drum hits by switching this to low pass and opening the filter so only the low frequencies get analyzed. And as you can hear, we then can create this pumping effect without really using the external sidechain input here. Let's turn this knob to the right here. This will make the effect even more extreme. Let's go for a more subtle setting. If we keep the attack around 10 milliseconds, the initial transients should come through. Let's open up this low pass filter and bring down the threshold. Well, let's bring back up the mix here. Let's turn the pedal off. And back on again. Let's listen to our next loop here. This is more like a full mix, some kind of techno track. Is this even techno? Probably not. Something electronical. Let's start compressing this. First I'll try limiting it. Let's bring down the attack. But you can hear that this is way too much. This is probably better. Let's bring down the ratio a bit and bring up the attack so the transients have some time to get through. Let's try to get some pumping by turning down the sidechain filter in the low pass setting. Let's just go for some gentle compression. Of course, if the level gets too silent because you're compressing too much, you should bring up the gain or the levels with the makeup gain. Let's really compress it hard. And bring in the unprocessed signal a bit. Let's go to our next loop. This is just something wonky that I programmed. Thought it was nice to include. It reminds me of some kind of Timbaland beat, I'm not sure. So this is with the pedal entirely off. Let's bring in the compression. I want to try to, let's first turn the mix to the right. I want to try and compress only the higher frequency sounds, so not the kick drum, or at least I don't want to compress when the kick drum hits. Just to make the snare a bit crunchier, let's really squash it. Let's include bass drum as well in the sidechain. And of course, you can hear that this is way too much. So let's do some parallel compression by bringing in the original sound. Let's go for something gentle. Actually, let's do some glue compressing. That's a longer attack, a really short release. And maybe we want to exclude a little bit of the low end. Let's turn up the input gain so we drive the compressor a little bit harder. Let's now go to our last loop here. Let's turn off MESSOR. This is my version of classic trap beat. With the iconic TR-808 drum samples. Let's start compressing this. Of course, the bass drum is making the compressor work hard. Let's restart the loop. And what I want to show you now is playing around with the attack and the release. You'll be able to hear that we lose the transient of the kick drum at some point. And then if we bring up the attack, we get the transient back. So now we have the transient because it has time to get through before the compressor kicks in. But let's turn this down. Let's bring it back in. Of course, we can still just use the sidechain filter so we are not compressing as much in the kick drum hits. More so on the other percussive sounds. And this is again more like a glue setting. Let's drive the input gain a little bit harder. This is sounding really nice. Very snappy. Let's try really just limiting this. Right now I am running a stereo mix through the MESSOR pedal. Everything is mixed on the legacy Cosmic mixer here. Everything except the kick drum. The kick drum is going into a separate channel of my interface. It is not going through the stereo input and output of the pedal here. And I want to create the characteristic bumping effect that we associate with a lot of electronical music. To do so, I just run a copy of the kick drum signal here on this mini jack cable. I run this into the sidechain input on the back of the pedal here. Now the signal going into the back of the pedal is the signal that's being analyzed to see what the pedal, what the compression has to do. So it's not looking at what we send in here, it's just looking at the sidechain signal. Normally the sidechain signal is a copy of whatever we send in here, but as soon as we connect something over there, we overwrite that circuit. To make the pumping more apparent, let's turn up the mix completely, because, well, when we turn this to the left, we essentially bypass the pedal. So let's turn it completely to the right for now. Let's make it apparent first by turning up the ratio to completely clockwise here. Now the pumping is really clear. As soon as the kick drum hits the circuit, the compressor clamps down, the volume goes down, and then when the kick drum stops, the compressor stops clamping down, the level returns to its normal level at the rate of the release. So if we turn the release down, the levels will go back to normal really quickly. But when I turn it up, you can hear that it takes much longer for the levels to return to normal. We control the amount and the timing of the pumping by both by the release button, the release parameter, as well as the threshold, as well as the ratio setting. Right now this is at its most extreme, but maybe we don't want to create electronic music cliche pumping. Maybe we just want to create some room in our main sound for the kick drum, just so the mix is a little bit clearer. Well, then you might go for more subtle ratio setting. Let's set it at the limiting position. Let's turn down the release a little bit. And even if we turn down the threshold completely, you can hear that the pumping is not so apparent right now. Now, if I would increase the release, you would start hearing it more clear again. And the settings of these really depend on the type of song you're working with, the type of sounds, the tempo, and, well, your preferences, of course. I think I like it a little more to the extreme side. Something like this. course, you can bring back the mix here a little bit, so we have a nice blend of the original not duct signal and the compressed duct version. All of this really depends on you. We can still use the sidechain filter. Right now I have this set to low pass, and the low pass filter is completely open, which means that the sidechain signal is let through completely for analysis. But imagine that I keep this open here. Well, you don't have to imagine, I will show you. And then we flick this to high pass. You can see from the LED activity here, and you can also hear it, that there's no ducking going on. And this is because, well, we high passed our signal, our sidechain signal completely. Since this is a kick drum, there's no high frequency information there, so we filtered out all the low end. It would make a lot more sense to turn this down, so we include all the frequencies. Unless you set it to low pass, of course, which is just the reverse situation. We're listening to a full mix right now. This is coming in from a sound card on a laptop, which is here. So this is just a line level signal, and I want to show you how you can use MESSOR for compression of the mix bus, sometimes called the 2 bus. That just means that's on your master output, right, or well, somewhere before your limiting stage. So when I turn it off, the audio just goes through the pedal. I turn it on, the input gain at 0, not a lot changes either. I wanted to quickly show you as well that when you turn the ratio to off, or 1/1, you can just use MESSOR as like a preamplifier. You can use the amplification of both the input stage and the output makeup gain stage here to just amplify your signal. But let's do some 2-bus compression. Settings for a 2-bus compressor or mix bus compressor, also called a glue compressor, are usually like a moderate ratio, usually even below 4/1, 3/1, or even 2/1. But let's just go for something that we can hear, something between 4 and 8/1, so probably 6/1. Let's bring up the input gain. And let's bring down the threshold until we start seeing that we get some compression. I already switched the sidechain filter to high pass, and I'm filtering out the very lows out of the sidechain signal. This is because on the mix bus compressor you don't want the kick drum to fully hit the compressor. Otherwise you probably will get a bumping effect as well. Now in electronic music this might be preferred, but not in something else. An attack of about 30 milliseconds is about right, and then turn your release completely down just as fast as it can go. And this gives you some glue. You can of course play around with the settings until you are pleased. It all matters, it all depends on how it sounds, and it just has to sound good for you. You can go a little bit heavier on the compression when you blend in some of the original signal. And then we're doing parallel compression, which is something that I usually don't do on my mix bus, but well, you can if you want. Let's isolate a few instruments here, just to quickly show you a few examples of what MESSOR can do. So this is just the guitar. Let's return everything to normal. So if you just want to smooth out the overall levels of your signal, well, let's first use the limiting setting here. But then it makes sense to start turning down the threshold until you get a little bit of compression. This means that the peaks will get a little bit flattened. So whenever there's a loud part of the source material, this will get compressed a little bit, giving us more smoother overall levels. Now if you set the attack and the release up like this, maybe let's turn up the release a little bit, you're going to emphasize the transients because they have time to get through at full level before the compression kicks in. This is good for sounds that you want to be in front of the mix. But if it's a sound that's a little bit further back the mix, you can turn the attack way down. This means that the initial transient will get compressed as well, and the sound will simply sound less in your face. The release settings are always dependent on the source material and should be adjusted by ear. You can hear that it's a little bit much compression, but of course we're still limiting here. So if we turn this down to a moderate ratio, we are getting much less noticeable compression. I think it's best to keep the attack somewhere at a moderate length or speed as well, in most cases at least. Let's listen to another instrument here. So this is the bass. It's important that you compress bass sounds or anything with a lot of low frequencies, that you don't compress this too much. So moderate settings for the ratio are always preferred. Again, you can emphasize the initial transient by setting a slow attack. It's always best, like I said, to set the release by ear, and what you're listening to is that the release follows the natural decay of your sound, so you smooth out the tail. In a moment when we listen to the drums, I'll show you that you can completely break that rule. But for acoustic instruments at least, it's best if you want a natural sound that you set the release to something that actually sounds natural. Without compression, it sounds like this. I agree that the difference is subtle, but it is definitely there. And for bass sounds, it's important that it stays subtle. So these are the drums. You can do several things with the drums. First, let's emphasize the transients. Let's go for limiting here. Let's start turning down the threshold. So now the attack is at 30 milliseconds. This lets the initial transients completely through. And if I now turn up the release, you can hear that the transients, the starts of the sounds are very much emphasized. Now if you turn down the release completely, we start getting more of the body of the sound, the tail of the sounds again. Now you can really smash drums by turning the attack way down, way low. If you start compressing this extremely, you can think about bringing in the original mix, the mix knob here, to do some parallel compression. Let's bring it back up. Let's increase the release. As you can hear, this once again is an extreme effect. You probably don't want to do this to your drums. Now we're getting a lot of compression on the kick drums. So with the sidechain filter in high pass mode, we can exclude the kick from the sidechain signal. It's turning up the frequency. Let's set this to something more moderate. What you achieve with this is that only the hi-hats and the snares, well, at least the loud percussion and drum sounds, everything apart from the kick drum, get compressed, and your drum track will sound very crisp, but you won't lose all the energy of the kick drum, because normally when you turn this down, you can hear that whenever the kick drum hits, we lose a lot of the volume and the energy. Let's listen to the solo guitar. What I want to show you here is that you can improve the sustain of your sound by using compression, by turning down the threshold so the loudest parts of the notes are gently compressed. Then by turning up the makeup gain, you get a longer tail Also the delays that are printed in this track become more apparent simply because the more silent parts of our sound become louder. And the louder parts become more silent. This is going to be my video about MESSOR by Cosmotronic. I really love how this unit looks. This olive or army green maybe is really nice. It gives me vintage vibes for days. This unit is very well constructed. The knobs feel sturdy, they do not wobble at all. I'm not sure if these are metal knobs, they sure feel like it. There's no give at all. Even the little ones feel very sturdy. The switch here is really small, but it's not something that you use all the time. I personally would have preferred like a regular switch here, or something that's easier to press with my hands. Well, that being said, there's foot switches that are much harder to press. This one is, well, rather easy actually. I just don't like to operate these kinds of switches with my hands, but that's very personal. Yeah, I really like this unit. I'm kind of gutted that I have to send it back. Matthijs did a really nice job on making this a really versatile studio tool that's probably right at its place in any kind of home studio. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. See you next time. Bye.
This is MESSOR, a compression pedal made by Cosmotronic. It's very versatile, it's beautiful, it's so beautiful. It operates in stereo, but also in mono. It operates in stereo, but also in mono. It has a sidechain input.